This is an original character of mine named Reginald. I play him in an MMO, so he's my main there, and I use him to do roleplay as well. He is a paladin class, and when I designed him, I just decided, well, I just wanted to make like the prettiest, like most typical looking paladin, and I made him with blonde hair and blue eyes and fair skin, and I even glamour his outfits because you can do this thing where you have your gear, but then you don't get to decide what your gear looks like unless you glamour it. So I always make his paladin class look very, very knightly. And this is just an outfit that he has for when I play him. He he has nice eyebrows, and I was having a lot of trouble with it. So when I get frustrated, I like to just make something goofy on the page. So like I did his eyebrow kind of silly, and it makes me laugh and it makes me feel a little bit better. And it's just something I do. This is a kind of outfit that I actually really like. Ever since I was little, I always really liked this sort of vest with long sleeve shirt, and then it's not seeable in the picture, but I really like when they have like the pants that only go just below the knee, and then they have the tall socks and the little shoes. I've been drawing guys in that kind of outfit for like as long as I can remember, so it's very fond and dear to me. And then the outfit in the game is actually something that you can have your characters wear. So that made me really happy. And I usually would never put a lot of little details, like the little, the stitching that you see there to get the pieces to stay together. I decided why not? And I feel like it really worked really well. And it adds a lot. It makes what would be an empty space, look a little bit more vibrant and alive. And then the lacing was like I apologize. I'm really phlegmy today, so if I keep clearing my throat, that's why. The lacing, this is how it looked on the character model for the most part. It didn't look like it looped through anything, and I figured just let it go. Just let it be easy to draw. And then, I went in and erased everything. It was easier to just draw each piece individually and then kind of correct them. And sometimes you'll see that, like, I'll put a random, like, scribble just kind of outside of the drawing. And what happens is when you make a new layer in Photoshop and then you start drawing on it, and if you need to redo or undo that line will disappear, but it will also pop you back down to the layer that you previously were on. And if I don't want to be drawing on a specific layer, I will have my first little mark something that I can easily erase and something that I can see to erase later. So I will scribble and then continue drawing as per normal so it doesn't pop me back down to the previous layer. So this character wears glasses, and I'm no good at drawing glasses. They're really difficult, so I kind of lucked out with the fact that his frames are like ovals, and I just sort of went with it. I actually made the glasses a little bit bigger than they are supposed to be because I think they look better that way. The frames are really small, so I don't know, it's too small, it looks weird. And I made my little layer down there, and what I do is I'll put down a layer of flat color, and I'll keep it on its own layer, and then it makes it really easy to go in and select just a specific area, or in this case, you know, only select the thing that I'm trying to color, or the whole character. And his head, oh my gosh. I started doing coloring stuff before I realized, like, no, his head is really slanted. So, bless Photoshop, you know? And I think, I mean, it looks okay. It looks okay to me. And I don't know why that bounding box was really big. I just kind of worked with it. But yeah, the coloring, it makes it easy to just make sure you don't have color going all over the place, spilling outside of the lines. You definitely have to be more careful when it comes to the inside pieces. So, like his shirt and his skin, like there's overlap there. But it's a lot less to worry about. And his hair's so yellow there. It's blindingly yellow. I don't fix it till the end. Ugh. And then the shirt's white, so I was trying to find something that was like an off-white to give it a little bit of a depth and color. Because when it comes to black and white, I don't like using pure black and pure white. Just because it doesn't feel right. Like with black, it's a little harder to do any sort of values, unless you want to do like really big highlights. I mean, you can go gray and stuff like that, but it looks a little flat. And then with white, it's very stark and bright. So making things just off-white is really, really nice. And made the little brass. I would assume they're brass at least. I went for a more golden color, brass color to kind of go with his hair and his frames. I wanted to not have a huge color palette because it's such a small amount of color options, so I tried to make the hair and the glasses and the buttons or clasps or loops or what have you, because I don't think they're quite grommets, because grommets or whatever you would go through, whatever they're called. So I didn't want all the yellow parts to be too different from each other. And then just doing some cleanup. And it looks like, to me, like it's leather. It's supposed to even like be a thicker material than the fabric that is on his torso. So I'm assuming it's like leather combined with some sort of, I don't know, cotton maybe, which I always wonder if like the stitching between the leather and the cotton would come apart and just be too rough for the cotton, or I'm just calling it cotton. It could be any other number of, you know, fabrics, but I thought it was a weird choice. It looks nice, but it's a weird choice. And then one of the few problems that I have with my method of coloring is, as you can see around the edges, his hair, the color of his hair extends beyond the little black line. So that takes some thought to kind of go in and make sure it's not spilling out, and then I noticed his hair and his glasses were too similar. And that was a little frustrating. His hair and his glasses being so similar in color, I kind of lost the glasses. By the end, I think I fixed it a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see. I forget what it looks like. And this is a pose that I found online because I needed a reference for the hand. And his hand doesn't really even line up with the side of his glasses because he's supposed to be like adjusting his glasses just a little bit. So for the coloring, I didn't do the thing I usually did with the layering upon layering of different colors to kind of make the skin look, hyper realistic, or at least as close as I could to hyper realistic. I just want to do something more like cell shading, which I'm really struggling with, and I want to learn how to do because I think it looks really nice. And on a lot more cartoony art styles, cell shading is perfect. With my last piece, my last original character, I felt like it was kind of uncanny valley, and it just was really weird because his skin looked too realistic, but also kind of fake. But and then his clothing, and then the art style is just all too cartoony. So I actually tried grays for a little while, and here I am trying again with gray, because a friend of mine who's a really talented, amazing artist, and I really love the way she does coloring, she was telling me, like, oh yeah, to do cell shading, I use gray, a 50% gray, and I couldn't figure out what that meant, like, if it was the tone was 50%, or if I put down the opacity to 50%. And I believe she explained it to me, like, after I was done the drawing. But by then I was just like, no, I'm just going to stick with my reds and my blues. And I mean, it worked. I like it. I do like doing shadows in red and blues. I might try to figure out how to do the gray, because on my friend's art, it looks really, really good. So, maybe I can figure that out, because with the red and with the blue, you do get some hue in your stuff, and on skin it looks great because it helps it look more alive. But over, like, white, for example, or red over red doesn't work very well. Blue over blue doesn't work very well. And it can sort of change the color in the piece because you're shading with a color. But for this, I think it works. I think the off-white of the shirt, and then the little bit of red, and then that kind of brings in the red of, well, the orangey red of the bodice, I guess. And then I did a little shadow cheat. Just sort of copied the layer, changed the color, warp it a little bit, and I think I end up blurring it some too. Yeah, there we go. And then it's just a little subtle. Put the shinies in the eyes, and that's about it. Oh, and then I have to do my little shinies on the face as well. And I was really happy with this piece. I'm really glad I changed the hair color because it was way too bright. And I wanted to post this a little bit sooner, but I didn't get around to recording, so here it is. Adding more shinies to the hair. Shinies are important. What can I say? And then this is to add a little bit more depth. You put a little bit of shine in, so you get a little bit more of what the light source should be. And I single out the hand a little bit so I can get some lighting on the hand that doesn't affect the shadowy part of his face. And that's not too hard to do. And then a very, very simple background. He doesn't need that second hand, it's okay. I didn't want to draw it. And this is where I put the shine on the glasses. Hopefully it helps differentiate glasses between hair, or between hair and glasses. And that's it. Thank you for watching.